Okay, everybody. I'm actually doing IM3 Unit 1 review material here. In IM3, they're about ready to have a Unit 1 exam over the next couple days to a week. And here's some review material I thought you may be interested in looking at. Okay, so let's get started here because graphing does take time. So here we go. So guys, this is actually a sine function. For my students, you've probably never ever really seen sine and cosine functions actually graphed, but you've seen them in real life, like for example, a radio wave. Okay? Or, of course, similar to that is the heartbeat at a hospital. Okay? So that's just a simple example where you've seen sine and cosine functions. But anyways, to graph a sine or cosine function, guys, is when I make my table, okay, I know I'm going to look right in here and ask myself what makes it 0. Does everyone agree x would be 0? Okay, so I know already that's one of my points at 0. Now notice, if you're looking at the grid here, guys, it basically starts at 0, and as you see the breakdown here of the scale, it's going by pi over 2. Now guys, you should know pi over 2 is 90 degrees. So it's really going 90, 180, 270, and again 2 pi would be 360. It's counting by 90 degrees. So you know what? We're going to make our table also count by 90 degrees, okay? And we should get, hopefully, a decent graph out of this. So here we go. In my table here, I'm going to start with 0. I'm now going to do the pi over 2. I'm going to do the pi. I'm going to do the 3 pi over 2, which is actually 70 degrees. 3 pi over 2. Let me make my 3 a little bit neater here. And of course, 2 pi is equivalent to 360, or full circle. And guys, I would suggest you just plug it in the calculator if you need to. But anyways, if I plug in 0, guys, and I'm just going to actually work in here and just keep erasing, okay? But if I plug in 0, I'm going to get this. Negative sine of 0 plus 3. Now, the sine of 0, guys, is 0. So the negative there doesn't change it. 0 plus 3 is simply a value of 3. Okay? Now I'm going to plug in pi over 2. Or 9 degrees. The negative sine of pi over 2 plus 3. Well, again, you could use your calculator, but you ought to know the sine of 90, or pi over 2, is, I'm pretty sure, 1. So what I have here is 1, but then I have a negative 1 plus 3, guys, which is a positive 2. Now, I'm going to go ahead and erase my work here, guys. Pause the video if you need to copy down my work, okay? So, next value is pi. Okay, next value is pi. So, I'm going to do negative sine of pi plus 3. Again, I'm just plugging it right in there, right? And guys, the sine of pi, I'm pretty sure, is 0. Okay? And so, because sine of pi is 0, again, the negative doesn't change anything. When I add 3, I get a positive 3 again. Alright? Let's do 3 pi over 2, or sine of 270. So, if I have the negative sine of 3 pi over 2, which is 270 plus 3. Now, the sine of 3 pi over 2, guys, is negative 1. But then the negative in front here makes it positive 1 plus 3. So I get a 4 there. And finally, 2 pi, guys, if I plug that in, I'm going to get another 0. Okay? So I actually get another 3 value. Again, if I plug in 2 pi, guys, I'm going to get 0, basically plus 3 again. Alright, pause the video if you need to copy my work. But let's see how our graph comes out. Let's see how the graph comes out. I have 0, 3, which is of course about right there. I have pi over 2, 2, which is right there. I have pi to 3, which is right there. I have 3 pi over 2 to 4, which is right there. And I have 2 pi back to 3 right there. So as you can see, guys, here is my sine function. Okay? So let's try one with cosine. Again, guys, to find these values, you could use your calculator. And if you need help with your calculator, just let me know. I'll show you how to do this on your calculator. Okay? But anyways, this one right here, number 7. Here we go. Again, when I make my table, guys, when I make my table, I notice the scale again goes 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and finally 2 pi. Okay? And I'm just going to plug them in one by one. So if I do 3 times the cosine of 0 minus 2, now guys, verify with your calculator, but cosine of 0, I'm pretty sure is 1. And 1 times that 3 right there means I have 3 minus 2, which is simply 1. Now I'm going to plug in the pi over 2. So 3 times cosine pi over 2 minus 2. Now the cosine of pi over 2, guys, I'm pretty sure is 0. Times 3 here is still 0. Minus 2 is negative 2. Now let's do pi. If I have 3 cosine of pi minus 2, well, guys, the cosine of pi, again, use your calculator if you need to, I'm pretty sure is 0 again. So then we end up getting a negative 2 again. 3 times 0. No, wait a minute. Sorry, it's cosine of pi, sorry, is negative 1. Alright? Times 3 is negative 3. Ooh, man, I do need a calculator, I guess. Negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5. Again, all I did was plug in pi, guys, with a calculator. If you did it correctly, you would have gotten negative 5. Okay? So erase my work here in case, before, well, anyways, pause the video before I erase the work, I should say. So here we go. 2 more values, and we should have a decent wave here. So 3 pi over 2. So if I plug in 3 pi over 2, cosine 3 pi over 2 minus 2. Well, the cosine of 3 pi over 2, guys, I'm pretty sure is 0. And times 3 right there is 0 minus 2. Now that's a negative 2. Now we finally come to 2 pi. So 3 times the cosine of 2 pi minus 2. Now the cosine of 2 pi, guys, I'm pretty sure we're back to 1 again. And when I times it by the 3 and minus 2, I get a value of 1. So now I'm going to have to basically erase everything here, guys, to graph it. And let's see what our function looks like. So pause the video if you need to. Okay, so I'm going to erase everything, guys. 0 was 1, pi over 2 was negative 2. Alright, let me get those down first. So 0 was 1. Pi over 2 was negative 2. Now pi was positive 5, so I'd be about right there. 1 above the 4s right there, right, guys? And now I can erase some more. 3 pi over 2, negative 2, and then a 1. So here we go. So 3 pi over 2 is negative 2 again. And then 2 pi gave me a value of 1. So let's see what it looks like. It goes like this, up to there, down to there, up to there again. And guys, unless I'm mistaken, that is our cosine function. Okay? So hopefully this video helps. Let me know if you need help with the calculator, guys. Till next time, bye.